Alright, here we go. We got myself as Loth and Nullius. We are going to be casting the C East game between Frank's Furters and Maniacs. So for Frank Furters, we're going to have Dallying Pig playing ETC, Indecisive on Dahaka, Boggs on Zul'jin, DJ Cold Cuts on Rexar, and Davy Jr. on Malfurion.
And on Animaniacs, we have the Duke Levin on Johanna, Peels on Jaina, Yotaru on Raynor, Sheepish Line on Stukov, and Sir Watson II on Hogger.
Alright, Null, so what are we expecting to see out of these two teams? What are you seeing from each of the comps right now?
That's a great question. I'm not really sure what they were thinking in draft. I guess so Johanna was drafted to deal with the Zul'jin. But it'll be interesting to see what happens in the offlane, actually, between the Hogger and the... Oh, and Hogger gets popped early.
Very early pick on the Hogger.
Between the Hogger and the Rexar. It seems like Rexar is going to want to fight in lane, and Hogger's not going to want to be there.
We see the teams are splitting into different lanes at this point. We actually have the Zul'jin rotating towards the top of the map, maybe trying to get a pick on this Raynor, while the rest of the other three are currently doing three-man rotations mid-bot.
Raynor is very... I think he's wary. I think his team is doing a good job communicating that they don't see the Zul'jin. And so he's been pretty careful.
Finally, that Zul'jin decides to step up. Not getting too much value.
He misses the axes. I think if he had landed the axes, he might have threatened for a kill.
Jumping on this Johanna in the mid. That ETC slide into the Rexar stun is going to be pretty powerful, especially in these choke points. Oh my goodness, four-man root! Four-man root on the Malfurion!
And actually, Rexar goes down first, but they definitely got the Hogger as well.
ETC.
Oh, these Malfurion roots are a nightmare for Animaniacs.
That was
the Animaniacs did get bottom cap. Yeah, Animaniacs did get bottom camp, so Frank's Furters does have to respond.
That was a pretty even trade, all things considered.
It was.
Despite the early pick on the Hogger, I think we'll definitely start seeing some of Hogger's value once it comes objective time, and we start to see his strong clearing abilities.
Yeah, what's interesting to me is that the Raynor was in top lane solo the entire time the rest of his team was team fighting, but their team is actually down almost a full level right now. Well, that's gonna help.
That'll help you catch up in terms of XP, definitely.
Another Malfurion root.
If Malfurion keeps this up, he's definitely going to be making some big plays with those roots. Ooh, look at this by the Animaniacs. This is a real aggressive play.
It really is. The Hogger is... He's spending half his time off the point.
They do manage to pick up the camp. Malfurion, they almost took down the Malfurion.
Oh, and they get Rexar.
Rexar is going to drop instead. Healers are really being punished this team fight. Zul'jin down now.
That Malfurion already has 5 stacks on his Vengeful Root quest.
Let's see, Vengeful Root. We'll take a look at the talents now that you mentioned them. So, Vengeful Root is going to cause the Treant to deal more damage over the course of the game. How many stacks do you think this Malfurion is going to end up with?
Is it capped or is it uncapped?
It is an uncapped quest, or the cap is very, very high.
He has 5 in just a couple minutes, so I think he's going to get, I don't know, 20?
It's like another team fight has broken out on the objective, Jaina going down.
Now see, I think Frank's Furters is being a little aggressive here because Well, and it's paying off. I was gonna say they invaded at 38 on the objective out of 40.
Yeah.
But Hogger pathing to safety. Doing a good job of it.
Punisher jumping behind, actually taking out the Zul Jin. Frankfurters played really aggressively in terms of picking up those, trying to take back the Shrine objective. However, by that point, Maniacs had just cleared too much, and they were able to secure this Arcane Punisher.
Yep, another route.
So we'll see. It doesn't look like this Arcane Punisher will quite convert into a structure, but maybe Animaniacs will be able to get a pick and maybe can actually convert it. Definitely very valuable and very good that they were able to get a structure out of this first Punisher.
Yeah, it's impressive. And it wasn't even a frozen Punisher. It was arcane, which is usually not. So Sir Watson is taking a very interesting tactic with getting camps as Hogger. He's using his pathing and taking the full range as opposed to using his loot horde.
Yep, he's actually using those far walls, and then it'll take a little longer to do the camp, but it's potentially more consistent than setting up.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, and he has aggro range from level 4, so he's building up range when he's doing it and doing more damage each time he hits him.
So
Red team has been really good taking camps. Their entire side of the map has been taken, and now they have the option to invade if they so choose.
So both teams are approaching 10, and 10 is going to be definitely a power spike. Who do you think this power spike is going to benefit more? Oh, fight potentially breaking out on the camp. Zul Jin capturing the camp, but is going to lose his life for it. ETC going down as well. Hogger is just bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, it was a 2.5 for none. Now, what's interesting to me now is the Hawk has been soloing top lane for a while, and yet his team is also behind in experience. It seems like whichever team is soloing top lane seems to be behind in experience. Ooh, that Hogger just got clipped.
Dang, so close to getting out. Looks like Frankfurters is going for some more exit kills.
Oop, and they're gonna get the Joe.
Johanna.
Oh, except for the Joe has Iron Skin and runs away.
She got silenced by the Dahaka isolation, but luckily the silence wore off just in time for her to pop her Unstoppable and actually walk away from that fight.
So interesting, the Rexar went Bestial Wrath instead of the Unleash the Boars talent, and so he's not going to be setting up CC chains, he's going to be finishing people with his increased damage from Misha.
Looks like a fight is going to be skirmish, rather, breaking out in the top, poking Dahaka for some decent damage. And definitely that Bestial Wrath, if I can pull up the talents, is going to increase Misha's basic attack damage by 200% for 12 seconds. Yeah, definitely the, what is it? I think it's Unleash the Hounds is the other ultimate.
Unleash the Boars.
Unleash the Boars. That's the one.
Maybe the English skin has Unleash the Hounds.
Definitely a more common one, but we'll see how he uses Bestial Wrath to his advantage. So actually,
And Peels and Peels finished her Frostbite quest, and so she will have Ice Block for the rest of the game.
it's definitely a valuable asset to Jaina. So because Hogger was not at top objective, it looks like Animaniacs are looking to create value elsewhere by picking off this Dahaka.
That's great.
So they'll actually give the objective, but they're going to convert that Dahaka kill into mid-fort, as well as Hogger picking up additional camps in the bot and mid lane.
That is well done. They're getting an experience lead. They're getting map pressure, and this is a mortar punisher, which is not as strong in terms of pushing structures as a frozen punisher. And so maybe they recognize that and decided just to soak the rest of the map.
Johanna baiting the Punisher jump. Trying to get all three of those towers to actually hit that Punisher. Hogger, in the meantime, picking up those camps. I think that's what you were about to say.
Yes, and another root from the Malfurion. Nice. Joe did go Laws of Hope, so she has she can take some pressure off of her Stukov, but she's just got stunned out a little too far. And a nice two-man mosh with their tank dead. Nice, very fast interrupt, but it was enough to get the team out of position. And that's going to translate into 3 kills for Zul'jin.
Frankfurter's definitely playing off the Punisher, even though it's the Mortar Punisher. Definitely using the stun of the Punisher, as well as the
John Cena?
The John
or
Cena.
Is he called John Cena, or is his move the John Cena?
That's a good question that I do not know the answer to. But they did pick up some kills. They got a bit of an XP advantage now.
About a half-level lead, which is very nice.
Alright, so 16 talents are approaching. We saw a power spike at 10 for both of the teams. Mosh is definitely one of those big AoE ults that can be very impactful and is on a long cooldown. What are we expecting to see out of the 16 talents that could change this game?
You know, I'm not aware of any of the 16 talents making a huge difference. I guess maybe the Jaina's route, if she goes that route. Her build looks pretty typical for the Ice Fury Wand build, which is now, I guess, the new meta build for Jaina. Nice pushback from Raynor to deny the ETC for the stun.
So this is actually a 4v4 top, now becoming a 4v or 5v4 for Frankfurters due to the Dahaka burrowing in. A lot more mobility than the Hogger.
And they picked a great spot because the fort is already down. I was going to say that Jaina's ice block was timely, but it didn't save her because ETC decided to ensure her kill with the Mosh anyways.
So yeah, they did convert that into a kill for Jaina. Potentially they'll pick up a Hogger kill in the mid lane as well.
Looks like it, yep. Oh! A Hoarder pull to safety, but then just one last final kiss from the Zul'jin.
Yeah, unfortunately that Hogger spin bounce didn't quite get him to that tower so that he could bounce off to safety.
Yeah. And sheepish line with the Stukov lurking arm just to be annoying.
So looking at the ultimate abilities, Shrine is about to be up in about 15 seconds, and they will not have Mosh for the start of the objective. I think it's going to be a little bit more beneficial for Frankfurters to play this a bit slow until they actually have all their ultimates, although they are getting engaged on.
Yeah, he has Mosh because he took Encore, so he hit 3 people with his W, and because of that he reset. So he's a threat again to Mosh.
That's a great call, and Frankfurters actually turning this engage back on Animaniacs. They managed to pick off the Jaina.
I was gonna say Hogger just dove in there in the middle of 4 people with impunity, but I guess he was confident in his teammates and his whirlwind to get him out.
So do you think that that pick on Jaina has now solidly secured Frankfurters this objective, or will we see a response from Animaniacs?
I think it has, and I think the fact that the map and the camps were timed so well with objective, they forced Animaniacs to go back and respond to that, and it got them, a 25 monster lead on objective, which I think is going to translate into it. And this is a frozen one, so this is an important one.
Yeah, the Furters Punisher it's going to actually disable the structures to be able from firing, correct?
That's right. In addition to potentially rooting people after the John Cena stun, which can be absolutely devastating.
It was a great escape on the part of Hogger, getting out
Yeah.
with his unstoppable. There's a short period in which that can actually be interrupted, so it's great that he was managed to get out of that.
And I think it's very smart of Animaniacs at this point just to give the fort, not even try to contest it, because they recognize that this is late game. The fort is really not meaningful at this point. It's about not dying and potentially losing not only the keep but the game.
And it's definitely a great point. We definitely know Frankfurters is going to be looking for some kills here, but it looks like actually Animaniacs burns that Frozen Punisher too quickly, and Frankfurters isn't able to convert any kills.
I think Animaniacs wants to fight here because they recognize that with over a level lead, if they don't fight now, the next fight will likely be when the other team has their 20 ults, and that would be disadvantageous. Malfurion with great heals. Looks like there's something of a disconnect that Johanna stayed in and actually was going deeper, and the rest of his team was retreating. I know how that feels as a Joe.
Yeah, definitely. There's also a lot of CC on the side of Frankfurters, so potentially she just got stuck in there and she had already popped her unstoppable and wasn't able to get out.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. And you know, that's a great point with the CC. I mean, the Zul'jin brings a slow, the Rexstar brings a stun, ETC has a stun, and Dahaka has a potential stun. That may be why Rexstar decided he didn't need to go unleash the boars and just went for the extra damage.
Yeah, that's a great point. You mentioned that Johanna took Laws of Hope earlier. With all that CC, that's a trade-off from going Iron Skin in terms of the consistency in which Joe can actually use the Unstoppable.
Right, and making sure that her shield isn't broken is very important because she loses Unstoppable the second her shield goes down. So extra Iron Skin might have been beneficial.
Right. We see Frankfurter's going in on this bot wall. What is their intention with this push?
I think they want to force a fight. Now, I don't know if they want to force a fight under keep, but it looks like they're pressing because they recognize they have a full level and they will have level 20.
They do have level 20, in fact.
I'm sorry, they will have level 20 in any fight, and that can only help them. So they're looking to get value here. That was a shocking amount of experience for a bear kill, but I guess that's what happens when you're down levels.
Animaniacs picking up that bear kill. Every little bit helps, especially when you're trying to get 20. Take what you can get, right?
That's right. You know, this is actually a pretty close game. I think Frankfurters has opened the top wall and the bottom. Oh no, they haven't even opened top wall, but they've opened bottom wall, and they've opened mid wall. The next objective is going top.
Top is actually down to tower.
It's down one tower. Yeah. So I think Animaniacs is just looking to soak 20, moving as 5 to be safe and making sure they don't get picked. And once they get 20, I think we're going to have really the team fight for the game right here.
Looks like the Haka is in the bot lane, but he does have the potential to burrow up into the top lane. Bit of camp pressure coming out from the side of Frankfurters as this fight forms.
Dahaka does have contagion too, so he can land a devastating AoE silence.
Looks like going in.
All right.
Quick pick on the Stukov.
Great
Counter pick
Great
on the
turnaround.
ETC that does not have Death Mosh. Responding with a pick to the Hogger. This is a bloodbath as the Haka goes down.
This is an absolute bloodbath.
Look at that healing from Zul'jin.
Oh my goodness! Look how fast that Zul'jin is attacking at this point. All right, and I think that may have that was game. It happened so quickly, but that Zul'jin just did so much damage, and he probably wasn't even in the line of sight of the Johanna. That's tough. The Zul'jin is decently stacked. He's at 48 stacks, and so
Let's see.
I think they definitely get keep with this, and it's going to be a question on whether or not Animaniacs can mount one final core defense, or if the Punisher is going to start doing core damage.
It'll be close. This is a like big late game Punisher. I think the most thing that's working against Animaniacs the most is the fact that Zueljin's actually still up, and he can put a lot of auto attack damage into the core.
And I have to confess, I have the replay bar on top, and I notice how much time is left in the game. And so it's not the fairest analysis.
You can actually hit that bar on the right to drop it if you want to hide it.
Oh, thank you.
So Animaniacs is going to try their best to do this core defense. ETC
Very
coming out with a
impressive. Oh,
four-man
mosh. That 4-man mosh actually was huge.
Nobody ends up dying, but that is the conclusion of the game. Definitely a very close game.
Yeah, very close. Well played on both sides.
Combat preparations.
Alright, so here we are in the second game of the series of Furters versus Animaniacs. On the side of Furters, we have Dalian Pig playing Johanna, DJ Coldcuts playing Diva, Boggs playing Greymane, Indecisive on Dahaka, Davy Jr. on Brightwing.
The battle begins.
And on the red side for Animaniacs, we have Rainer playing Yotaru. ETC was being played by Peels on Peels. The Duke 11 is on Thrall. Sheepish Line is on Lieutenant Morales. And Sir Watson II is on Sylvanas. I did notice there's some role swapping. Peels on Peels was Jaina last game, ETC this game. The Duke was the Johanna, now on offlane. And Sir Watson, who is the Hogger offlane, is now on Sylvanas range damage. So wonder what was going on in draft. Be interesting to see.
Early brawl breaking out, Dahaka losing the majority of his health. I'm not sure anyone's actually going to go down, although if the fight continues, maybe so.
Oh, Greymane gets in with a sliver of health. I think this is actually a win for the Frankfurters. They were in danger of losing 2 there, and they walked out with 0 deaths.
It looks like there's also an early rotation from Dahaka to the bot lane that might net them a little more XP in the long run.
Oh, and they're going to get a pick on Dahaka too. Interesting call by Frankfurters. Dahaka worked out great the last map. Not commonly seen on Volskaya. Indecisive with the E. Not commonly seen on Volskaya just because there are fewer vents and bushes to burrow into.
Dahaka can definitely be good on many of the maps, though. The mobility that he provides can't be understated.
Absolutely. And he's very tanky and provides CC from a position that doesn't necessarily always have CC.
It's like Animaniacs, still with 3 in the bot lane, potentially trying to get some value out of this Sylvanas.
It's an interesting call. Now both sides have taken their turret camps very quickly. I think they will have time, depending on how long the first objective goes, to pick up a second turret, which is exactly what you want to do. They are, however, committing a lot of people to taking mercs.
Yep.
Both of the ranged DPS are taking mercs.
They don't actually have anyone in the bot lane picking up this soak. They may end up losing it if they don't have a fast enough rotation.
I think they are going to lose it, actually. That's a good call. So, Frankfurter is benefiting from the fact that their Greymane was able to solo camp. Animaniacs lost half a wave simply because they had to send both ranged DPS to take camp.
Bit of a skirmish breaking out in the top. Doesn't seem like anyone's going to go down. 4v3. Looks like it's just some posturing. So with this first objective coming up, who is going to want to be on the objective first, and who actually wants this first objective?
That's a great question. I think both teams want this objective. I'm not sure that I find either team really spiking late.
Potentially picking the bot lane on this Raynor. So
I missed it, but there are 3 down there, so
yeah, they had the Johanna, Tahaka, and Greymane all jumped on him. So Frankfurter's getting the early positioning and early percentage on this first objective, as well as a pick shortly after the objective came up.
wow, they went directly to the Sylvanas. I thought they were going top to get the heal camp, but they were out for blood.
Frankfurter's being very aggressive, and I guess you do want to be aggressive with this comp. Running very heavy frontline, Greymane being a ranged DPS, but also pseudo frontline with his Worgen form.
So I was right. The turrets did spawn, but actually Frankfurters got the objective so quickly that neither team was able to pick up a second turret.
And that was really well played by D.Va, actually using her bomb to zone out Animaniacs from being able to contest the
That's a
objective
great
at
call.
99%.
That's exactly what she did. She was very deliberate with it. Going top, I think they're trying to go for the well to soften up for a second objective. Not having a well to tap on is potentially huge and can actually win you the second objectives. So
Definitely a pretty common strategy of using the objective on this map to actually set up for the next one. Less common strategy would be actually to go bot and pick up that bot well for the third objective. Frankfurter's just sticking with going for the next one.
that is a great point. Nice slide by ETC, not able to get value because it's Joe.
Joe's a bit beefy. And looking at the talents, actually, Johanna for Frankfurter's picked up Hold Your Ground for this game rather than the Laws of Hope.
Yeah.
And they're actually trying to contest and invade Animaniac's turret camp.
Ooh. Dahaka with the value stun there. Landed on the Sylvanas and pulled her in the midst.
Morales doing a great job of actually keeping this Sylvanas up with her healing as well as the armor she provides with her W.
So actually great moves from Sheepish Line, keeping not only her Sylvanas up, but also herself.
Destroy the fort.
Looks like in the meantime, D.Va managed to take down that top fort.
And she lost her mech, but she does more damage in pilot form, so maybe it worked out better for her.
Yeah, I'd say trading a mech for a fort, definitely worth it. And D.Va's got a lot of pushing power, and I'm sure she'll have her mech back in no time. Looks like...
I was going to say, Frankfurters has the early 10, and they feel confident they were able to posture and get the healing beacon. Their healer is going to take the healing beacon, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think it's not too uncommon to see the healer picking up the healing beacon. Another option would be having the tank pick it up and sort of use it in that regard, but I think that's pretty consistent to have the healer have the healing.
Sylvanas is, I've noticed she's been getting a lot of value from her trait on waves and stopping some of the map pressure and the structure damage by using her trait to immobilize waves as they press.
Looks like a skirmish breaking out in the bot lane. Frankfurter's going for this pick on the Thrall.
And Thrall used Earthquake. I'm not sure if that was maybe a panic-driven move, but I think he would have perhaps been better served saving it and using it for the objectives, since he's gonna be up in time for the objective. But now they're down Earthquake for another 70 seconds.
Animaniacs was actually pretty quick to respond with Sylvanas picking up the D.Va kill in the top lane. However, she is going to pay with it with her life. Frankfurters did a great job of actually positioning and predicting Sylvanas' teleport to prevent her from escaping. So
Frankfurter is also with the early 13 lead, or they're going to reach 13 first. Animaniacs being cheeky, however, and invading. Very, very daring. Oh, interesting.
This is
going to be a full-out brawl.
4v5 versus for Animaniacs. D.Va doing another great zoning ult.
Oof, and doing damage in pilot form.
Flame.
Davy Jr. with the huge Emerald Wind to push everyone out. D.Va using her mech as a backup. Incredible that they were able to come down and take what looked to be an easy turret camp for Animaniacs.
Yeah, we're really seeing Frankfurters use the zoning strengths of their team to their advantage. First we saw it on the first objective, and then we just saw it there with that turret camp. So Frankfurters is going to maintain an item lead.
And dallying Pig with the hearth on the turret, he was moments away from being interrupted, and then he would have been a 1v3. That reminds me of a Star Trek episode where someone gets beamed up, just moments away from danger.
Alright, so where are they going with this,
Blue team has taken control
what's it
of
called?
the protector.
Was the mech objective?
Volskaya Protector?
Yes, where are they going with this protector?
I don't know. It looks like they're going middle now.
It almost looked like
I thought they were going to press top keep, yeah.
Right, yeah, it almost looked like they were going to go top. Also, interestingly, they do have their healer in the protector.
They do, yeah.
Blue team has destroyed the fort.
Well, they got middle fort.
Oh, no,
There's still a lot of time.
there they go. They just swapped the healer out of the
Okay, they did.
protector.
Maybe they heard us the day after. Another great Emerald Wind to isolate the Sylvanas from the rest of her team, and she dies because she's half a screen away from her tank.
I think this
Due to the Emerald Wind.
Yeah, this is Frankfurter's doing a good job of zoning out the rest of Animaniacs, as well as you see that that Greymane actually hopped out of the protector midway through that
Push the
fight.
protector to its limit. Well done.
So rather than sort of commit to that protector, he wanted more damage output. So he just got out and said, "I'm gonna get in there and handle this myself."
Yes. And now Frankfurter's in the enviable position of having a talented... Oh,
Flame.
Earthquake came out on the side of
Wow.
Animaniacs, but Frankfurters is just pushing through the Earthquake and actually picking up 3 kills from that, as well as a structure and a well.
I think that slow, if I'm not mistaken, was because of the Johanna Punish. She did take the quest talent at 7. She hasn't hit 4 people to finish the quest, but that slow was huge in securing those, or confirming those 2 kills.
Absolutely. This is a beefy team on the side of Frankfurters, and they are using it to their advantage. That was a huge conversion from the second objective into getting 2 forts, as well as Botwell, and they're potentially even going to get this bot.
They have an embarrassment of riches at this point. They're just using turrets to tank for the keep. So instead of, if they now win 3rd objective, it's not going to be taking a potential keep, it's potentially pushing for core. And there's Dahaka. 2 globals on Volskaya. Devastating.
So during the time that Frankfurters was pushing that bot keep, they actually had Sylvanas pushing top. What do you think of that play on the side of Animaniacs?
You know, it's tough. I'm not sure what value top fort has at this point in the game, but she was getting experience, and now they're on the same talent tier. They're able to take a fight. I think they're, you know, obviously have the talent HP deficit,
Is
but
breaking out on the healing camp, D.Va using her ult to zone out. Thrall got that early tongue, but managed to get out.
Hero flame.
Frankfurters is going to pick up the Rainer and the medic.
Hero flame.
and all those forts that have been taken down are now translating into no defense for the Animaniacs to run back to.
I'm getting another terminal ready.
So a bit of an unfortunate outcome for the Animaniacs. However, they did manage to actually take out the Greymane as they were retreating. I think that's definitely going to help slow down Frankfurter's push. Greymane is their only traditional damage.
I think that's right. I think the tough news for Animaniacs now is that the third objective, which they will need to either postpone or contest, is going to happen when they're going to be fighting down 20s. And I'm not sure that they're going to be able to soak 3 levels before Frankfurter wins the objective, at which point they'll be able to push directly into core.
Medic ult coming out, they're going in, trying to take a fight before 20. Using that mobility to their advantage.
You know, I hadn't even realized that Medic took medevac this game.
Nor I. Dahaka getting the tongue on the Sylvanas.
Oof.
That Dahaka has been hitting clutch tongues all game.
I think that's right. I think...
Trying to get the
see,
this
yet
is
another
actually a
tongue.
4v4. Diva's on the point. 3-man mosh.
3-man mosh.
Unfortunately, he did not get the Brightwing, and he took too much damage, so Animaniacs was not able to convert the mosh into any kills. I can't believe Frankfurters is still going in on this. They are bloodthirsty.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they have a 4v3, and they're counting on. Ooh, yet another
Clutch
tongue. Yeah.
Silence coming out on the Sylvanas.
Yet another
managing
tongue.
to push Frankfurters back, however. In the meantime, Frankfurters has picked up the objective. If Animaniacs can get a kill here, this will.
Oh, that's a shield, and if they get the medic here, nope. ETC with a nice save, a nice stun.
This is going to be a core defense for the Animaniacs.
Yeah, I think that's right. They've done a great job skirmishing here, actually, very disciplined, like organized chaos. And they're threatening the Brightwing, and they've put damage onto the Dahaka as well. And they take down Dahaka. Now the problem is they have a Protector who's just been wailing on their core, and is going to get core damage at this point.
There's only one person in that Protector seat, though, so it's not as bad as it could have been. They're actually going to manage to push the Frankfurters off the core. This is exactly what they needed.
2% core damage, all things considered. Great job. Great core defense.
Absolutely.
I mean, they were fighting down 20s. They were fighting down 2 levels, down 20s. And for a while, they were fighting down numbers as well. And they did a fantastic job. They really didn't lose a single thing since they had already lost keep. They did take about half of their keep damage on top because there was a Merc Wave pushing, but I'm sure they'll take it.
Yeah, I think what Animaniacs is going to need at this point is that they really need to take down a fort and try to create a win condition for themselves. If they can even just get a single fort down and win a late game team fight, that might be enough for them to take the game.
I think that's right.
Well, one camp up. Is there going to be a fight? Knowing Frankfurters, they are out for blood, and they are up 20.
You can see them like milling around. Oh no, they're going to give it. Yeah, I think that's this right call. They're not 20 yet.
It's not the end of the world to lose that camp. Not the end.
Yeah,
of the world.
losing a turret is not the same as losing a game, and now they are going to get cut off. Sir Watson, or her. Oh, she got out. Double wave.
The danger that Animaniacs is going to face is such a heavy item advantage on the side of Frankfurters. They got to bait out some of these items. Link into a mosh. Mosh lasting for a little bit. That was a big silence on the side of Frankfurters from Dahaka's isolation.
Did Reynard knock the Brightwing out of mosh, or did he stop the Brightwing from polying? I couldn't tell.
I could not tell either. Either way, that mosh got interrupted and ended early.
Yeah.
But this medic, who now got picked, was doing a great job of keeping her teammates alive.
Yeah.
As long as
So-
Animaniacs can keep this together for the core defense, they actually managed to bait out every single item on the side of Frankfurters.
There are 3 katas. They gotta get those katas. And they do.
Oh, Diva
Oh, and they got
down
Diva.
on the side of Frankfurters. Potentially,
And possibly
they're gonna get
Dahaka,
this
too.
as well. Yep. Oh, there's that
no.
Brightwing. Emerald Wind.
Starting up an exit.
Yeah. Joe uses Blessed Shield as a defense. Oh. Teleport. Mosh.
Teleport into Solo Mosh. Now, Solo Mosh, in this case, when the death timers are so long and creating that staggering death timer, definitely worth it.
Yeah, they do lose top. Again, there was just so much pressure.
Yeah, this
So it's going to take a very heroic team fight at this point. The risk tolerance of Animaniacs should be shooting up. I like the 5-man shuttle medevac in. They're going to need to do something similar. Try to catch them unawares. You know, interesting. I don't know how much value they got from the medevac. I wonder if, given that they have a Rainer on their team, they would have gotten more value from the stim pack, the stim drone.
Yeah, I think that if they could have gotten one of the earlier objectives, then we would have seen quite a bit more value out of the medevac, because it gives them a little more mobility in order to put pressure on forts.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they're at a disadvantage when it comes to the structures. Skirmish breaking out. Johanna is not there yet. Hopefully, Animaniacs is going to get the pick before the Johanna shows up. Huge silence again.
Oh,
by
the
Dahaka.
Emerald Wind angled to separate the Thrall from the rest of his team.
And this is going to be tough. The Animaniacs is in a very fragile state right now. If they lose any more people, they might not be able to defend this core.
Yeah, the Mosh almost immediately interrupted, and no one really enraged to do damage.
Medic,
Dahaka actually misses a tongue.
Medic's still doing a great job of keeping her teammates up. Unfortunately, she can't do much whenever Brightwing comes in and splits the team.
Yeah.
But
Frankfurters doing exactly what they should be, using their advantage to take more items from the map. Greymane's gonna solo another camp. I mean, you know, this game feels actually relatively close, but if you look at the map, I mean, it's been pretty overwhelming for Frankfurters, in favor of Frankfurters.
oh, slide in on the Dahaka.
Oof.
Another skirmish is going to break out, although Animaniacs does not have their entire team with them, so they're going to disengage. And yes, these team fights have been very close. I think just the long-term pressure that Frankfurters got in the early game is really starting to sort of rear its head.
Yeah, I think a miscommunication there. Sir Watson used the whaling arrow with really nobody in position to capitalize on the area silence.
Sir Watson looking like he made a bit of a mistake with his haunting wave, however he did manage to actually recover from it, and he's still alive. This is now all structures down, and look at where all these waves are positioned for Frankfurters. This is looking like the end of the game.
Yeah. The Protector now just chunking. And yet another Emerald Wind.
Late game Protector and a lot of waves finishing out the game. However, very well played by both teams.
Yes, GG.
Good games, and that will be Frankfurters taking this series.